in the studio of Annemiki in Emmeloord, the Netherlands, and I have been at a masterclass today, and it was really a fantastic day, and you're such a wonderful teacher. So firstly, thank you for having me here, and I asked Annemiki to have a short talk with her about her artwork and also how she became an artist. Maybe that's an interesting question for the first question.
Yeah, well, I'm already an artist for about 30 years. So when I look back 30 years ago, then it's more the struggle to become an artist is in the beginning very, very heavy, but I traveled all the way to Portugal. So the only thing I could do was becoming an artist. And in the years, by working more and more, my work as a professional artist became as it is now.
Yeah. And how were you as a kid? Were you already did you have potential to?
No, as a kid I worked very much with flowers and I played the piano, but I was not so much drawing. I was more in the garden, fetching the flowers to make a bouquet, or I was studying my piano players, but I was not so much painting.
No.
And when I did my study biology and arts, then finally I got fascinated by art.
But you were a creative child.
Yeah, more or less, yes, yes, but not so much in painting as in other things. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. You have also a wonderful book.
Yes.
It's from 2017.
Yes. Yeah.
And I saw one of your quotes. You learned everything from the paint itself. Can you tell me something more about that? Because how did the paint
teach me? Well, the thing is, if you work by heart and not with your brain, you have to listen to the paint. And more, my quality of paint and the use of colors is the best of my artwork. So it's the composition, but it's also the colors. Mm-hmm. And by scraping the paint off the canvas and by putting it back on, over the years I learned the quality of paint, but still you have to listen to the paint. If you don't listen and you force yourself to put more paint on it and more paint on it, at the end you get lost. But when you start quietly and softly and listen to what happens, look what happens and listen what happens on your canvas, the artwork involves itself.
Yeah, so you are just a kind of gateway from, how do you say that?
Well,
you were guided by the paint, and
you
don't have to do so much yourself.
No, but you have to still listen.
Yeah, you have to listen.
Yeah.
You have to be a channel, an open.
And when we travel a lot, and then we hike also a lot. And a couple of years ago, we went to the Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Wow. So after this 10 days of walking, I come back in my studio, and it's like I tap into a flow of energy where I can work for months. It's unbelievable what happens there.
Wow. So you gather your inspiration through traveling, nature,
and walking.
Yeah. And is it good for you to sometimes let go of painting and don't do it for a couple of weeks, or do you miss painting when you are traveling?
Well, I work in blocks, so when I have 3 or 4 months that I work, then it's the only thing I do, I paint. So I don't travel, I don't organize master classes, or I don't organize exhibitions. That's the thing I do. When that is finished, that block, then I'm open for selling my work, teaching people, then it's in another mood.
Yeah.
But in that block, in that period of time, that's the only thing I prefer to do.
So you're very focused on that thing, that one thing, and after that thing has stopped, you start another thing, and you're very focused, and you have your attention on that.
Because painting is one thing, and selling your work, that's another thing.
You need another mindset, another.
Yeah. So I do it in periods of time.
You were already talking about listening to the paint. What do you do when you don't feel that connection anymore. So what do you do when you are struggling with your work?
Work. I work harder.
You don't stop, take a distance.
No.
You work, and
At the moment it becomes difficult. You are an artist. So at the moment it becomes difficult, you have to work.
Yeah.
It's not only pleasure, it's work. So at the moment I think, I should change this, or I have to move that, or that is not what I want. Okay, I take a step back, but I do a step forward because I really want to make this painting beautiful. So I don't say it's the end of the day, I don't say it's the loss of blah blah blah. No, I'm a professional, I'm an artist, and I can do this. But I take my time and I step forwards and I do my work.
And you don't hop to another painting that you're working on at the same time? Or
No,
do you
because
work on...
it's oil paint, and oil I can work 3 days in a row, because then the paint gets dry. So if I stop and work on another one, it's like starting to read another book, where I'm in the middle of something and have to go in the middle of another story. So I prefer to take my work serious, and when it gets difficult, either the work gets difficult or I'm in a difficult mood, it's better to step forward and step into it than let the work take over. Because if I start to do that, every time there's a hop in the road where I can say, well, I'm not in the mood, or I'm not feeling happy, or whatever. And the thing is, if you work, you step over it.
Yeah.
And okay, you can have a bad day, but so what? There's still paint on your canvas. You can still work with it tomorrow. You can still do everything with it. It's maybe not perfect, but the paint is still there. So, no.
Does that always succeed, or do you have some paintings that you afterwards feel like they are not good enough, or they are not?
If they're not good enough, I don't show them on my shows. I keep them back, and I have a nice base for the next time. Because if you wait for a year, the painting is dry. You can paint over it.
And you have already a good layer.
So it's never a problem.
And it's never a lost time. It's never.
Because you have been exercising.
It's a process that's more important than the paintings that you make. What makes a painting for you that it's a good painting? What is there a definition of this is a good painting? For example, this one behind us. What makes it? Is it a feeling? Is it the work that's behind it? Is it?
Some paintings can be done in a day, and it's still good. Some paintings have been working on for weeks, for months. In the end, it's a feeling. It's how you feel with the work, and it takes sometimes a long time before it finds a customer. But if the work is good, then I stay with it.
And how do you define this is a good work? This is having the magic. This is okay enough, and here I quit. When do you decide to quit? Maybe that's a better question.
With oil paint, you have to stop a bit earlier, because the paint drying, it always makes it more finished. So if you think I have to do this or I have to do that, sometimes you say no, I stop, because by drying it will fall together. You understand what I'm trying to say? And I made a painting with apples, and in the week it was drying, I suddenly saw these apples falling. Just by drying the paint, they fell through the canvas.
They were apple juice.
No, not that's what I mean. But instead of simple things in the middle, I saw that they fell, that they start
dripping. Or how did it fall?
You saw the apples falling. It's not the paint that drips. It's just the movements. There suddenly came a movement in the painting, and that was what drying was doing.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's the difference between oil and acryl.
Yeah.
Because you really need the time to let it dry, and then you suddenly see it switching over to another one. All the time we're working, we had this glaze over the work. So we had to stand on the side to see what's the real result, not in front, but from the side. And that's also when it's drying, you can more turn from another side to see the work.
And does that happen more often when you work with thicker paint?
Yeah, the thicker the paint, the longer it takes to dry, the longer it falls together. Yeah.
But it brings for you a surprise as well when it's drying and it becomes, it works out that way. I feel that could surprise me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I work with acrylic, so it is what it is, and it will never change unless I vanish it or.
No. Oil has a magic to it. Yes.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Have you worked with other mediums before you worked with oil, or?
Yeah, and on the academy we learned to work with acrylics and monoprints and Oost-Indisch inks and how it's called.
All these charcoal.
All these things start from the beginning.
And what was your decision to work with oil?
Well, I thought oil had a nicer color. So, and because I wanted to have a high quality at the end of my working day, I decided to switch over to oil paint.
Wow. Yeah, I can understand that because I've been working with oil today, and it was very surprising to me color-wise. And so today I've been here in a masterclass with you. What does teaching do for you? What is it like to teach?
I find it so interesting to see how people are in color. And today it was a group of 8, and 8 is only maximum to teach and to help. And you have people who know the work, or you have people who were completely different, or they're more abstract or more. They had this lady in the class who worked with very dark colors, and I know her for a bit. So then you see that this is her quality, and to get her quality better is to know your colors better. Not to work like me, not to work like somebody else, but to work for her way or for your way, the best way. So I can see how people work, and then I can push them a little step forward to use that base as a better base. So for me it's a challenge, because it's not how I work, but it's to see how other people work and give them the right step in the right direction.
And in some way it's the same as the way you paint, because you are again a kind of channel to listen to the people instead of listening to the paint. You listen to the people and you try to make the best out of it. What they have in qualities or in style or colors, and you try to get the best out of their paint. Actually.
That should be. I should get the best out of their work, and themselves as well.
Do you sometimes let people do total other things than they used to?
Because they come here only once a year or once a half year, so it's not a regular base on every week.
No.
So they work at home on their own way, and here they come for an extra lesson, an extra day. So it's not completely out of the zone. It's more that the little steps I can give them to go forward in their own work. And by working yourself, you develop yourself, and that is the way. That's the key to get further. You have to work yourself. It's more important than coming here every week. So that's why they only come once a half year.
And it's that must be enough inspiration for a longer period of time. Do you have something like a masterclass that you go to yourself, or do you all get it from out of yourself and by painting yourself? And Or do you
No,
have
for me,
inspiration?
the traveling and the walking is the
Yeah.
best inspiration.
That's a teacher, and that's the inspiration.
Yeah,
And
because the energy should float, and you should try to tap in that kind of energy. But sometimes you need to get it moving, or otherwise it's too busy or too this or other
or you
things.
don't make time to get out of the box that you're used to and out of your comfort zone, so you get inspiration by going away. Actually. Yeah. That's nice. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
And that's, do you have, well, you said a lot of things, so maybe if you want to repeat yourself, it's not a problem at all. Do you have any tips or just suggestions for artists who are listening to and watching this video?
Work. Keep trying, because you never get a marathon if you don't start doing the first step. And it's I work 3 days a week, from 9 till 5. But and sometimes I need my breaks to get new energy. But most of it is just working, making the hours. If you want to play the piano, you have to study. So if it's not working that day, you are studying.
You just go on and on and on and on, and you get better and better and better.
This goes a very slowly process. Yes, by the older you get, the better you get. But you see how much time it takes. If I was a ballet dancer, I was be 35, 40, and I was at the peak of my career. But as a painter, I can have a longer period. But it takes also more time to slowly get this in your system.
Yeah.
It's the same level, but in another time zone, in another,
Will you ever stop painting?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's enough to do for you right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's
yeah.
a lot of works to come from
I
your
hope
hands.
so. Yes, I hope so.
I hope it too, because I really admire your work. And
thank you very much.
I found you on Instagram, and I was really mesmerized by the colors and the loose style. So you are really one of my examples. So
thank you.
I'm very
much.
proud that you are here telling some more about yourself. It was very, very interesting.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being here, and
thank you for being here, and maybe I'll see you next time.
Yeah.